police them are running in. We're pulling weight, but we know the dream. Oh. We on point, oh boy. We're balling international. No time, baby. You got to know we are the guys.
Hello, beautiful people. It's another Monday, and we have a crime story to share today. This time it's disclaimer. If you are quite scared of the gory things, if you're not into crime, and because I know that YouTube doesn't want to say that word, and if you're not into people eating innards like liver, brains, kidneys, and yeah, just exit, go. I don't want to scare you, but if you are brave enough, sit with me and we will discuss and talk about this an innard eating druggie that deserves to be put away forever. And okay, another disclaimer. Well, for the lack of nothing to do with my hands, guys, this is boring, just sitting here and just talking. So I'll be doing my makeup. Yes, I'm not a makeup artist, never will be one, never wish to be one, but I'm just an enthusiast that want to look a bit presentable and not come on the camera and look like shit all the time. Yes, the intro, guys. I am that one and only Niger chick. I make lifestyle, straight talking videos. I make commentary on viral videos. I do hauls, I do reviews, and another thing, I do crime stories because of my love for reading thriller and crime stories. So I thought to share some of these stories with you guys. Let's get into the story. Now, this setting is in Zimbabwe. It's about a 27-year-old man named Rodney Tongai Jindu. Now, Jindu lived with his mother in the suburbs of Glengarry, Zimbabwe. For all my Zimbabweans, you must know where this is. I don't know where this is. I'm just bringing the story to you. So he lived with his mom there. He grew up as a single. He grew up with a single parent, which is his mom that took care of him. Now, this guy was said to be a bomber. Not because he lived with his mom at 27, a bummer, a loser, someone who didn't want to do anything with his life. He came, living in the suburb in Africa, guys, is like middle class. So it was middle class, he didn't lack for nothing. The mom single-handedly took care of him. But apparently, he chose the life of a druggie. He became drug dependent, and his specialty was heroin, methamphetamine. I think that's what it's called. Methamphetamine, short for meth. Can you have such an expensive hobby for living with your parents? Now, mind you, in Africa, people can live with their parents past 30. It's not seen as anything, but ideally, most people leave before the age of 25. Some people, it's not frowned upon to live in their parents' house, especially guys till the age of 30. A lot of African families I know have kids like that. So I'm not saying he's a bummer because he lives with his parents. So his druggy lifestyle became a little bit hard for him to maintain. He decided to take matters into his hands and borrow money. Now, he's been borrowing money from a neighbor. The name of this neighbor is Mboneli Joko Nkube. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to call him Mr. Nkube. Now, in this story, there are three sides to this story. I'm going to tell you three speculations about this story and also what I think about the story. And what I think, my opinion, really played out in this story. So it's said that he's kept borrowing money from Mr. Nkube, a 30-year-old neighbor of his. And one day, the neighbor found out that he was doing drugs with the money and refused to lend him any more money. Now, he pleaded. Africans, we are very kind people. We're very, very kind people, I know that. So I'm sure that his neighbor must have, had pity on him and told him that, okay, I'm not going to, it was said allegedly, I'm not going to give you any money for your drugs anymore. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to buy groceries. Like you claimed you didn't have groceries at home. So he agreed and met his neighbor in a supermarket to Robert Mugabe Expressway in Zimbabwe and 11th Avenue. Now, we don't know what transpired between the two of them. They were seen going to another suburb in Burnside Avenue, where Mr. Jindu, pulled the trigger on Mr. Nkube, shooting him in his chest, and he died instantly. And what he did next was very, very disturbing. What he did next was he cut this guy up into 4 places, took out his innards, his liver, his kidneys, his brains. He was said to cook this brain, ate the liver and kidneys raw, and buried these parts of the body, burned some part of the body, and buried like 4 or 5 parts of the body in a shallow grave. At that spot of chelation, at that spot he killed the guy. So this happened in January 12, 2017. Now Mr. Cyprian is his childhood friend. Now story had it that the money, the motive for killing his neighbor, the first guy, was because of money to fuel his drug addiction. Now this time the victim would be his childhood friend, Mr. Cyprian. Mr. Cyprian lived in the same suburb with Mr. Jindu. They were said to be childhood friends. So it was said that they didn't know. I actually don't know what transpired between these two and how the killings happened. However, it was said that Mr. Cyprian was shot in the abdomen 3 times by Mr. Jindu, and dismembered also, just like he did the first person, and called 2 people to dig up a shallow grave. 2 people he paid to dig up a shallow grave to bury the dismembered body. And he went what he did next was quite surprising. Maybe not surprising, that leads me to one of my theories, but please watch to the end of this video, so I'll tell you my theories. For now, I'm just racing through the whole story so that I can now share my opinion, because for me, I love to share my opinion. So that was what happened. He now took his laptop, his friend's laptop, and his phone, went out to sell it for $400. Then he called the guy's family, called Mr. Cyprian's family, and told Mr. Cyprian's family that Mr. Cyprian decided to impromptu leave the country. How convenient. I mean, who would you tell that kind of story and they'll believe you? You cannot even tell that kind of story to my family and they will not find it suspicious. Come on, leaving the country. So it happened that the parents of Mr. Cyprian was looking for Cyprian, because they were like, how can my son just disappear like that without even, a phone call or alerting us or telling us where he was going to? And so they alerted the police, and it was found that Mr. Jindu was the last person to be with Mr. Cyprian, and he was obviously arrested. Now when he was arrested, he was questioned, and it was established that this guy, this MF, was lying to the police. The stories were not, straightforward. The police found that generally there was something missing, there was something happening. The story wasn't adding up. So they increased the intensity of questioning, and he cracked, and he confessed to killing these 2 people. But what he said next was quite shocking. He said that he saw a black angel figure that told him to proceed with the killings of these people, his neighbor and his friends. So because he said that, the detective then took him to a doctor, a psychiatrist, for examination to see if he was, okay there. So during the examination, that was when he opened up that he ate the innards. Let me be specific here, guys. He ate the liver, the kidney, and the brains of, his victims. After he told them everything, after the evaluation of everything, it was found out that Mr. Jindu was fit for trial. He was not mentally he was mentally all there. He knew what he was doing, basically. So they took him back to court, and of course the trial began. And during the trial, he told the prosecutor and the judge that he was going to unleash the spirit of Lucifer on them if they do not let him go. So he was being generally an asshole and being elusive. Now, after all the trial, everything, it took them a year. It took them a year because his final sentencing was in August 18th, 2018. That was his final sentencing. So he did these killings between January 12, 2017 to January 29, 2017. Now, those people who helped him dig the shallow grave for the second mother, they were not actually tried because they said they didn't know why they were digging the grave, but they were paid to dig a hole, and they dug a hole, and that was it. They didn't know what the hole was used for. So that was how these people were, acquitted, and they were let go. Now this guy, as the judge was reading his sentencing, something dramatic happened in court. He had pulled all the antics of trying to unleash the devil, trying to unleash Lucifer and everything, and it seemed nothing was working. So he, by the way, the judge sentenced him to 4 counts. He said one of the counts was, of course, killing, 2 was tampering and dismembering the bodies, 3 was robbery, and 4 was, giving the police false information. That was how he was sentenced, and he was given the capital punishment. If you're Zimbabwean and you're watching this, please tell me, what's the capital punishment you have there? How do people die? Is it by electrocution? Is it by hanging? Is it by shooting? Please let me know in the comment section. So, but something, like I was saying, something dramatic happened. He got up and he told the judge that he was like, hey, my lady, hello, my lady, please, I'm sorry for being disrespectful. Can I get an assisted suicide? So it was like, he wants suicide. After he has killed people, he wants them to and the judge rightfully put him in a place. She was like, hey, shut up, you will get your turn to talk. Let me finish first before you talk. So, but of course the judge were like, no, you are going to pay for your crimes. So you get the capital punishment and get the hell out of my face, you mother. Not exactly what the judge said, but I'm sure she was dying to say that to him. Yeah. People think that the guy, for one, his killings were ritual motivated, that he ate the innards of those victims, of his victims, for rituals, that he was sent to do money rituals with them. Remember, the guy lived with his mom. He seemed to be a loser. He had a bad hand, according to him, in life. So that's why he wanted to do ritual. Then another one said he's just a druggie that was looking for, a way to what the hell? Why is this not opening? That was looking for a way to, afford his druggy lifestyle. He got to a dead end and he couldn't afford it anymore, so he resorted to killing those people closest to him. Then another speculation was the guy was just a cold-hearted killer, like he just killed those people in cold blood. I can't do my eyeliner here, so we'll just finish up the rest of the story while I do my lip. Then I'll go off online, or I'll go off camera to do my eyes, because it's so difficult for me to do an eyeliner and concentrate talking to me. So I'll do the rest of my makeup and apply my lipstick and see how it goes. So guys, as I was saying, for me, my opinion, basically, I think the guy is just a manipulative, cold-hearted killer. I refuse to believe that he was ritually motivated for some reason. I'll tell you why. I think the first time he was arrested, he told the police a lot of lies. He wasn't straightforward with his stories. He also, oh my god, this looks horrible. What does it? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with my makeup today, guys. Ugh. For me, I think he is just a cold-hearted killer, probably fueled by his drug addiction. This is why I think so. The police, first of all, he lied to the detective, meaning that, okay, he had intents to kill them. It wasn't something that just came out of the blue like that. It was premeditated, he planned it. And I think that planning of killing was fueled by, drug. Another thing too was that his mental state was proved okay, in that he tried to tell them that he ate the innards of these victims. I think what he was trying to do there was portray himself as mentally unstable, so that he can get maybe a fair judgment or a better judgment. And also he's saying it was a devil. Typical African people, they always attribute everything that happens to them to the devil. Devil is the devil. That if the devil was human, I guess the devil would have come out and have spoken and be like, leave me alone. Don't bring me into your mess. But unfortunately the devil cannot talk, so I don't know. Well, I think that was those things he were doing was deflection from the real situation on hand. And I applaud the judge, and I applaud all the person in charge of his case for seeing through this and for sentencing him, giving him the appropriate sentence. Now, what do you think? Do you think the mother was as a result of do you think the mother was ritualistic, like he wanted to make money, or do you think that he was just a junkie, or do you think the guy is just a cold-hearted, bloody killer? And yeah, so guys, that's the end of my story. If you like these kinds of stories, I bring them every Monday, and if you like crime stories, tune in to me every Monday and you get all the juicy crime thriller stories. I get my stories from books, from the internet, and also from stories being told to me here in Nigeria. Please subscribe to this channel. Don't go away. Don't just watch and go away. I'm not finished my makeup look yet. I'm going to go off camera and finish it and probably give you the complete look as my thumbnail. So don't go away. Subscribe, like, comment down below, and give me your feedback and tell me what you feel. Alright guys, I'll see you later.